not a bad seat. I'm going to be kind of maneuvering through the crowd, so don't worry about it. So for those of you who follow me, yay. For those of you who don't, yay. I have been seeing and hearing from the other side since I'm 8 years old. I'm way older than that now. So it started with staying the night at a friend's house and hearing a voice and waking my friend up, telling her, please tell this man to go away. And she's like, what does he look like? And I'm telling her, to which she says, oh, that's my grandpa and he's been dead a long time. So that was my first real experience where I can remember seeing and hearing, and everyone's like, oh, that must be so great. No, not really. You see all these people wherever you go, I see you. So we may have 200 people here tonight. You guys are seeing 200 people. I'm seeing you guys, plus each of you have 3 or 4 people with you. So tonight I'm seeing like 600 people. So it's a little different for me. So when people say it must be nice, it really wasn't. Where you're at now versus where I was as a child is way different. I always tell people that I came out of the closet, per se, 20 years ago, which all is well and good, but my husband and I have been together for 28 years. So he kind of got a little bit of a surprise. Bait and switch. Yeah, take a drink. You're going to need it. A little bit of a bait and switch there. So it's been a learning curve for both of us as things have changed. So we kind of did that. Last night we had a great show. How many people here were there last night? Wow, you guys rock. If you were there last night and you're here and you didn't get your crystals, make sure you come and see us because we have them for you. We had a great show last night. We touched on a lot of things that we're not going to go into tonight. Tonight we're going to kind of do readings. I'm going to just cold call you and talk to your loved ones and things like that. Tonight, Veronica is going to be helping me. So she has a microphone. As I'm looking at you, I'm really not looking at you. Just heads up, I'm looking through you. I'm looking at who's with you. So things you're going to see during the reading is when I'm talking to you, I'm probably going to be looking away or looking down. Simply because when I'm looking at you, I hear your thoughts, and I really need to be focused on what they're telling me tonight because they're in charge and you are not. So you will see me look away. I'm going to be talking, they'll be telling me things, so I'll know kind of the area that I'm going, but you're going to need to put your hand up if that's you or sounds like you because I'm not going to be connecting with you. I'm going to be listening to them. I should give you enough information that you ought to be able to raise your hand, okay? So some of the times they're going to just be letting you know who's with you, what they're saying, those kind of things. And other times I may just come up to you and say, hey, they're saying this about your life. I do not pick and choose what the other side tells me. So I can't make them give me a whole story about you if they just want you to, quit doing those things and, let things go. So that's kind of where we're at. So sometimes it may be just as quick as a message that they know that you need. And other times we may go through the whole process. We are going to try to time it to keep it so that I can get as many as I can to like 10, no more than 15 minutes. So you're going to see me check my watch. It's not because you're boring. It's just simply because I need to make sure that we keep this going as much as we can to get to as many tables as we can. Veronica's also going to be doing the thumbs up and keeping an eye on me to make sure because, as my husband also would attest, I like to talk. So I don't want to get sidetracked. And if anybody's ever had a reading from me, you know that when you're in there, time stands still and we have no clue how much time we're actually taking. So those are kind of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And before we get started, though, I wanted to do something because last night was an amazing night. And there was this young gentleman in our crowd last night. I mean, there was a lot of you, but the lights were in my eyes, so I couldn't see. But it was like he was my cheerleader. You know, they tell you that when you're in school, when you're doing classes, find someone in the audience to focus on. Well, this young man was so happy and so smiling, and it just like made the night so much fun. So with that, Roxanne's going to hand. And if any of you guys listen, who listens to our podcast? All right, if you don't, make sure you get a business card because you should be, because Roxanne here is in my podcast with me, and we do them every week, and so this is Roxanne, so when you guys, and she hates to be pointed out. But anyways, so I just wanted to I have these really cool cups that have our logo on them, And it's so funny because we were sitting out there today and his mom was asking me about these cups, and I was just trying not to say, well, your son is actually going to get one tonight, because she was talking about wanting to get one of these cups. So I just wanted to thank him because he sat out there last night and he was my fist bump buddy. You're very welcome. So I just wanted to, he was like, when I would say something, he was getting so excited for me. He was over there cheering and other people are like, and he's like, I would tell a joke and he got it and they're just sitting there like, oh, that was funny. So and with that, like, I just wanted to do that. So since we're here, we're just going to get started, just so you know this is how it works. So since we're here, I'm going to start with you guys tonight, since I just wanted to thank you. So, and not that I'm ignoring you guys, but I've definitely been focusing on them. Why do I hear, like, was he named after your sister, kind of, sort of? Does your sister have a name that is like his name?
No.
You're not his sister, yours. Did you lose a sister?
Yeah.
And what was her name? And what is his name? Okay. So they are kind of the same because they're talking about that his name is similar to her name. Okay. So I just needed to know that. So that is kind of Nicholas, and Nikki is kind of really close, just so you understand that. Have another Kahlua. Just saying. And she was really young when she passed? Okay. So, and then your mom. Like, so you're one of two?
Yes.
And then you have two as well?
Yes.
So are you the only one that had kids? Like, did your brother have?
My brother did not.
So you're the only one of her kids. So you were the only one that gave her the grandkids?
Yes, me.
Okay, got it. Oh, she's got the mic. Everyone might want to hear what you're saying. Sorry, I just jumped in and didn't even let her catch in. For those of you that missed it, I asked them about. So just so if you can kind of talk into it. So your mom had two kids.
Yes.
And then you gave her two grandkids. So I'm guessing you had she had one boy, one girl. You had one boy, one girl.
Correct.
Okay. So why then is your dad is talking, but when I see your dad, like I see MASH. Like, do you remember the show MASH?
Mm-hmm.
So why do I see the MASH when I see your dad?
He was a doctor and he was in the service.
Did he serve like in the military medics like
Yes.
they did on the show? Do you remember MASH, like Hawkeye Pierce and all of them? Okay, because they're kind of showing me that as, as him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So then, was it your stepsister then?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Okay. And like, are you the only boy?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because you got away with everything, they're saying, because you're like the only boy. So you got away with everything. Okay, got it. And then did your daughter just graduate?
Yes.
Okay. And did she just leave or something?
No, she didn't leave.
So how long ago did she graduate?
She got her master's some years ago, like three years
Okay.
ago.
And
She's got a new job.
did she just switch from one to the other?
Yes.
Okay.
The job was dangerous.
Was dangerous? What did she do?
She did Catholic charity services
Okay.
and social worker, and so her manager put her in the most dangerous area. And
So she's out of that, which makes you happy.
yes, she makes me so happy.
Good. And you are the best cheerleader ever. Like, you're my fist bump buddy. Like, all night long we kept fist bumping each other. Like, we were good. So you were the biggest cheerleader last night. Okay. So with your mom, like, I don't know, she just keeps showing like dishes. What is the dishes with your mom? And she keeps talking about China, and I don't think it's a place.
No.
I think it's a dish.
She was a China painter.
Okay.
She painted China.
Okay.
And Mom was all about using the good dishes all the time.
Okay.
And now that Thanksgiving is coming up,
Did you get her?
saying, are you going to use the good dishes?
And are you?
I'm
He-
going
he-
someplace else.
Ah.
But I do know to use the good dishes, but I don't use them as much as I should.
Did she paint your dishes?
She painted me dishes, yes.
Okay.
She hand painted 12 place settings. Each place setting is a different flower or fruit. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful.
Okay, because she's saying China, and I'm thinking she's not talking to place, people. She's talking to dish. Okay. And then your dad's a tough one. not like hard to read, but he was very like tough. Why?
He was a doctor. He was a family doctor.
And your mom says he was very, like, that was his focus, like.
Yeah, and helping people.
Yes.
And he was tough with his patients because he cared about them. So a lot of times they'd come out of the office and they'd be crying because.
That's why they're saying he was.
Told me I gotta lose weight, and I know.
I'm glad he wasn't my doctor.
He cares about me, but he hurt my feelings, like that.
So he was really tough because they're just describing
it
as.
He cared about him and he wanted them to take better care of themselves.
Okay, because he describes.
He was tough on my brother.
Your brother didn't listen though, so when you say he was tough, I think that affected you more than it affected your brother. Do you understand that? Like, I think it hurt you more than it hurt your brother, because you're talking about being tough, but I just get that it affected you more than your brother because he just didn't anyways. Do you understand that? His name isn't weird, but your mom is saying your daughter's name is weird.
My mom named my daughter, so.
Is that, so what did she?
Sabrina.
Okay,
So,
I don't think
yeah.
that's weird. So your mom was involved in naming your daughter then.
Yeah.
That's why she went after the.
But both mom and dad had weird names.
Oh.
Artist and Lyman.
Oh yeah, that's weird. So maybe that's why she's talking about weird names then. I don't want nothing to come flying at me, but those are pretty weird names.
They are. They're very
Okay. Is there anything you want to ask her that you want to know? The thing I want to tell you about your dad real quick, just asked you if you want to, this is how it works with you guys. You always knew your dad loved you, but he just couldn't say that to you. Do you understand that? Because I always like to ask him if there's something you could say, what it would be. And you took what you didn't get from him and you made it softer, and he's just saying thank you because he's just doing that thank you. But I just feel like with your mom, you just keep apologizing. Why?
We had a little bit of a strained relationship.
Because she said, I don't need to be apologized to so many times. Like, she just feels like you.
She was the type of person, she'd get mad and she'd
All the
stay
time,
mad.
your dad said?
Yes. And she'd stay mad for like a week and not speak to you for a whole week.
And your dad said that's what you call pleasure, but go ahead.
Yeah, and so I think there was a lot of that, and a lot of her mother came through in her,
and you
tough, and you never knew where you were with her.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
That was hard.
Okay.
That was hard.
Okay,
So,
because she
I'm
just.
still working through some of it.
That's good, because she's saying that's the part where you're at and where we need to get you, and you need to get through that, and the sorries, need to go kind of back and forth. Do you understand that? Did you not talk to her for a while before she passed? What's that period there?
Well,
And she wasn't very nice to you when she was passing either.
it was a rough, she got sick and died in a week.
Yeah.
So there was no time, time to
She's
say
always
what-
on time too.
there was no time to say what we needed to say and everything because she,
Okay.
there wasn't, it just went so fast. And she was comatose before she even knew it when she was dying, so.
Okay. Okay. All right. Is there anything you want to ask her? No?
I just feel like we could have been closer.
Yeah, that would have taken her, and it's not that I'm putting words in her mom's mouth, just so you understand. That would have took your mom to see your side and your point of view in order to be closer. And your mom can't see those points of views. Like, she can only see her point of view, and if you don't fit in that. So I don't think you should beat yourself up for not being closer, because if your mom if you didn't fit into her little box, you couldn't get past a certain level. Do you understand that? And love was conditional. You had to do these things to fit into that circle. You talk about you wish your dad wouldn't have been so hard on your brother. Why didn't you wish your mom wouldn't have been that way to you? Because you care and you do the things.
Yeah, and I always looked out for my dad because I felt like she was hard on him. And so I had a soft spot for him, and I worked with him for a long time, so I think it was jealousy.
But you had a soft spot for your dad. I'm going to change that a little bit because your dad is explaining it different than you.
Okay.
And my job is what I do is you guys say one thing, and I don't think you're wrong, but if they're going to tell me something, I need to change and talk to you the way that they're doing. So your dad doesn't it's not a soft spot, it was a respect. You two had learned a respect. So you're saying soft spot, and he said no. She respected me and I respected her. And to your dad, respect is a word that's accepted, and soft spot is kind of like bleh, whatever.
Right. No, respect is very, very good.
Yeah, because you call it a soft spot, and he stopped you and he said, no, ma'am, that's a respect thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Anything you want to say or ask them before I...
I mean, what do you say, you know, just knowing that they're there waiting for me, and, you know, that they know that we think about them all the time.
They do. And you think about your dad more than your mom, she just said, but
I do.
just so you know, she's pointing it out. She said, don't let her kid you. She doesn't think about me half as much, but that's okay. But do the dishes or
Yeah.
use the dishes.
Yes.
So,
The house tidy, use the good dishes, all that.
yeah, they're glad for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just looking for my victims. She's got beer. I'm following her. No, just kidding. Are you named after your dad?
Yeah.
You and your brother both have the same names? How is that possible?
Absolutely correct.
Oh, wait, we got to get a microphone. Sorry. Sorry. Let's start over. You guys didn't hear that. Do you have the same name as your dad? No.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so how do you and your brother have the same names?
My dad's name is George Sr.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be a boy, so I'm named Georgia, and my brother is named George Jr.
Okay. And do you have, like, there's a lot of people talking right now, you guys, so and some woman won't be quiet, so we'll go to her next. She's in my ear. No, this isn't for you. It's someone else, like they're over there. But they all talk. So, like, so your mom, how is it possible? Does she have kids that weren't your dad's kids? Okay, and they both died before her?
Who died before?
Her sons?